Unprepared isn't scripted or edited. There are no redos, and when we screw up, it's going live. This works for our show, but it is no way to run your e-commerce business. Our partner Rewind is here to help. They will help you back up your Shopify store with automated backups of your most important data. Rewind should be the first app you install on your store to protect it from human error, misbehaving apps, or collaborators gone bad. It's like having your very own magic undo button. It's trusted by over 70,000 retailers, from side hustles to the biggest online stores like Gymshark, Gatorade, and Movement Watches. Best of all, if you reply to any of their welcome series and mention Unprepared, you can get your first month free. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Unprepared. After countless hours, we're going to say, of trying to figure out the technical difficulties, I am pleased to welcome Jeff from SEOak. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
And I want to spell that out for everybody. It's S-E as in Edward, and then the word oak, SEOak.co or .com?
.co.
That's what I thought. All right. So obviously from his name, Jeff is an SEO expert. He'd be my go-to for any questions like that. But we're not going to talk about SEO today, are we?
No, we can talk more about TikTok.
This is going to be an awesome conversation because I don't have a TikTok account. I haven't succumbed to the peer pressure of it. But let me know what I'm missing.
Basically, TikTok is exciting. I think it's something people should be looking at alongside something like SEO, which is like slow and steady wins the race type of marketing technique or tactic. And TikTok is more of a get a lot of awareness really quickly, but not. But it's kind of flighty at the same time. So I've been able to amass an audience of about 920,000 in the last year and say 3 months.
That is a huge audience. Do you have any guesses of when you're going to hit that 1 million mark?
It could happen by the end of the month or mid. I would say almost definitely by mid-February. I would see that happening.
So probably when this airs, you're going to be hitting that 1 million mark. So congrats.
Yeah, thanks.
So when you're on TikTok, you said that it's more flighty. And another way to think about that is it's, I guess, less qualified traffic if you're going to be sending it to a certain URL. That's
one way of looking at it. When anybody who's getting a lot of views on TikTok, I think it's fair to assume a lot of those are coming from younger people, as young as middle school kids. And yeah, the audience is skewing older, but most of the people who are going viral on TikTok are going viral because their content is being seen by a lot of younger people.
Absolutely. And that's, I guess it's, if you're building a product, I remember when I was in the marketing game, 10 years ago, everyone would be like, yeah, we want, we needed to go viral with millennials. And that's essentially what TikTok does.
Well, Gen Z is more prevalent. Like millennials actually feel old on TikTok. They're like, I'm too old for this. And they're like 25 to 30 saying they're too old. Well, I'm 40. So I don't think that's true. And I'm doing pretty well.
Gotcha. And now are you sharing, what kind of content are you personally sharing on TikTok? Those are some pretty impressive numbers.
So the main goal of my account is to help the people who are struggling to take advantage of TikTok, whether it's to grow their account faster or to monetize or to build their business using TikTok. So I'm just kind of dedicated to education, teaching people the algorithm, teaching people how to go viral, and all the things that go along with that, for the most part, with some fun experimental stuff on the side.
Perfect. Well, obviously this is a little bit of video, a little bit of audio, depending on where you're listening to. But can you share any tactics in the next couple of minutes for those that are trying to get into TikTok, like myself? Maybe I'll download it right after this.
So the biggest thing is watch time, and it's not unlike YouTube in that way of like, okay, well, are people watching this video to the end or are they not? And like compared to all other 15-second videos, how does yours compare in terms of how long people are watching or how many likes, how many shares and stuff like that? But watch time is the number one factor. If you're going to just remember one thing from this podcast, just remember watch time over everything.
Gotcha. That's kind of engagement, like making sure if people are watching it to the end, especially on short videos, it means that they were usually enjoying what they're seeing. That's what I'd take out of it, I guess.
Yeah, and here's one thing that TikTok is different from YouTube is people want to know, well, what can I do to increase my watch time? Well, you could go into the nerdy stuff, but there's this thing called trends, and trends are these little cool little memes or whatever. Sometimes it's dances, sometimes it's jokes, sometimes it's a certain sound, all these different things, and everybody it's almost like a culture of copying. And the beauty of trends is if you take advantage of a trend, it's almost a perfect blueprint for what's working on the FYP, which is the For You page on that particular day. So really all you have to do is find a way to implement your business. Let's just say the people who are listening to this are e-commerce store owners, right? How can you take that trend and apply it to what it is that you're doing with your business or with your website or whatever, like or the products that you sell? How can you find a way to twist that trend to make it work for you to give you potentially a lot of awareness?
Yeah, and now I've seen a bunch of brands that are starting to get into TikTok, and it's definitely, a little more on the experimental side these days. I do know that there is also paid advertising in TikTok as well. Do you have any experience with that, or are you just dabbling more on the organic side?
I've been dabbling more on the organic side for sure. However, I have noticed definitely a higher quality of the people who are buying ads. Let's just say 8 to 9 months ago, it was a bunch of scammy websites and really low quality brands that were advertising. And now we're, in the last few months, especially, we're seeing bigger and bigger brands. For example, Apple.
Yeah, I do know that for a minute there, the pricing for advertising on TikTok was actually like kind of outrageous, but you'd also get like an insane amount of people to see it. I don't know if it's gone down much. I need to look into it. It's something that's kind of on the back burner for the agency to start playing around with and seeing if a client wants to experiment there.
Yeah, and it is somewhat experimental, but I've been able to utilize it. Although there are a lot of younger people on there, I have been doing TikTok consulting. People have been hiring me just to give them advice and to work with them on trying to figure out how to grow faster and how to monetize more effectively and stuff like that. So there are people with actual budgets on TikTok, believe it or not, and it's just going to grow from here.
Okay, so I didn't have to do a segue. You did it for me. So I was going to ask if you were doing any sort of consultancy there. So if someone is curious to learn more about TikTok and how they can use it to grow either their e-commerce business or, we have a few consultants that listen to some of my content. Thanks to everyone that listens. That's great. How do they get a hold of you about that?
Jeff at SEOak.co.
Gotcha. And then quickly, your main gig, I guess, per se, is SEO consulting. You want to give a quick, just let the people know that what you're good at?
Yeah, we're good at, helping e-commerce stores, especially navigate that national and sometimes international marketplace of Google, just trying to get higher up on the organic side, not necessarily the paid side, but specifically with the organic, when people are searching for the type of products you offer, maybe not necessarily your brand name. Of course, that could be included, but just getting you higher up on Google when people search for the types of products that you sell to give your brand a lot more awareness.
Perfect. And then this is going to be a really dumb question because I don't use TikTok, but how do I find you on TikTok?
I have the username at Jeff Couret. That's Couret. Pretty simple.
Awesome. I'll make sure to link to all that stuff in the show notes. Jeff, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
My pleasure. Have a great day.